Hello everyone. In this video, we will see about the introduction to C++ programming language. C++ is an extension of the C language. Most valid C programs are also C++ programs. That is, whatever the programs that you are writing in C language, the valid programs, all the valid programs of C are written, or you can say can also be written and executed in C++. And as we know that C is a procedure oriented programming, C++ is an object oriented. That is, we have the concept of class and object in C++ programming. So the difference is only in the syntax. Now the identifier, the variables, function name is same. They are declared and initialized the same way as in C language. The identifiers, or you can say the variables, can contain any sequence of letters, digits, and underscore. The valid identifiers are, you can see some examples over here. First underscore name, age, Y2000, that is nothing but here at the first you can give a letter, then digits can be given. Invalid identifier is nothing but you cannot give the digits at first and then the letter. This is a invalid. And even you cannot give special characters to the variable names. X is equals to y, j minus 20. Such type of special characters are not allowed in identifiers. That is for variable names, constants, or functions. As one more thing is, identifiers are case sensitive. That is, whenever you are giving a variable name as x and another variable as x, here you can see this variable is unique and this x, capital X, is unique. That is, here you can see the example, capital H hello, small h hello, right? All these are unique identifier. Means the name, the word is same, but because of the small case, uppercase and lowercase, what is happening? The identifiers are differentiated. Next is the comment. That is, comments are nothing but some notes, right? That is, they are written only just for the understanding of the user. By using this two double slash, it is single line comment, and slash asterisk sign and then ending with asterisk and slash, it is a multi-line comment, and comments are not executed by the compiler. Next comes the operator. All the operators which are in C programming, all these are again working in the same way in C++ also. Assignment, increment, decrement, arithmetic operators, right? Plus, minus, divide, multiply. Relational is for showing some relation between the operands. Conditional is nothing but giving a condition in between the operands. Increment, decrement, to increase and decrease the variable value, right? Now here you can see all these are the arithmetic operators, plus, minus, divide, multiply. Here a and b value of variable is 10 and 20. A plus b gives you 30. The same way a minus b gives you minus 10. Like this, multiplication gives takes the asterisk symbol, divide, and then comes the modulo. This gives you the quotient and this gives the modulo. Operator gives you the remainder. Now here plus plus minus minus are nothing but the variable value is incremented by 1. The variable value is decremented by, right. Next here comes the comparison operator, the relational operators, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to. It is checking whether the two operands are equal, whether two operands are not equal. So this is nothing but showing the relation among the operand. Next is we have logical and or, that is more than two conditions can be checked, and if all the conditions are true, then and will return true, and if either one condition is true, logical or will return true. If all the conditions are false, then only logical or will return false. Next comes the assignment operators. Equals to, that is, it is assigning the value from right side to the left side. The right side statement is executed, and because of the equals to, it is stored in the left side variable. All these are nothing but the compound assignment operator. Plus equals to means C plus A. C minus equals to A means C is equals to C minus A, like this. So this is the short form you can say for writing the compound assignment operator. What is happening is this C divided by A is stored in C. C mod equals to A. C mod A is calculated and it is stored in. Next is, as we have variables, right? So in variables we will be storing the data. So which type of data? As the compiler needs to understand that it is integer data, character data, for that we have some data types, that is which type of data needs to be stored. So here for integer, int data type is there. For char data type is there. For floating point, that is decimal points, we have float and double. All these are same as C language. Next, user defined data types, that is how to give some structure to the data. We have all these different user defined data types, and even we have derived data types in function, pointer and reference. This here class is nothing but the OOPS concept, that is in C++ we will be going to create, we will be going to define a class and then its object, and then we are going to write some program. Next, here you can see the compiler directives, that is hash include. In C language we used to have hash include stdio, the header file. Now here in C++ we have iostream header file. Predefined is nothing but the inbuilt header files. So with the help of this include keyword we will be going to include the file, and whatever the objects which are present, functions which are present inside the iostream, that we will be going to access in our program. Here if you want to user define some header file, then you have to include it with the help of double quote. Double quotes, name of the header file, and then .h, then double quotes complete. By using this hash include keyword, you can define your own header file. Next, here you can see the structure of a C++. Hash include, we have to include the header files and then the main function. Always the compiler begins its execution from the main. Now here you can, inside the body of the main function, you can define and declare variables, constants, any executable statements and functions as. And then here the return type of main is int. So for that reason here you are returning some integer. If it is void main, then there is no need to return any value. Here you can see hash include iostream.h using namespace std int main cout. Here in C language we used to write printf double quotes round brackets double quotes hello world. Now here you are using the object of this iostream for giving the output, for printing the data on the screen. We need this cout object in C++. Cout, and this is nothing but the operator used with the cout. And then here comes, this is called as the insertion operator, and here we have the hello world, the statement which is to be printed, and it is in double quotes, and then you have to give the semicolon. Then the body of the main function is. So now here you can see the explanation of the program. Hash include iostream.h is the header file library which tells us how the input and output objects work. That is cout for the output purpose and cin for the input purpose. And using namespace std means that we have some names given to the objects and variables that are already stored in the standard library, that is namespace file. So after, with the help of this using keyword, you can write this namespace file, and then you can access the objects present inside that namespace file. Another thing that always appear in C++ program is a main function. So the data, the body is of the main function is written inside the curly bracket. Now here you can see we have C out, right? It is pronounced as C out, and it is an object used together with the insertion operator for printing the data on the screen or to show the output. Every statement ends with a semicolon, that is, the statement is terminated by using this semicolon, and the body of main is written inside opening and curly brackets, and then you can see that the compiler will ignore the white spaces and multiple lines data code can be written for a C++ program. And return 0 is nothing but means it is saying that it is end of the main function, and you have to close the round bracket as. Now here in C language, for reading the data from keyboard, we used to have scanf function. The same way, to read the value from the keyboard, we have cin object, and with the help of extraction operator, we can scan the value data from the user through keyboard. Here you can see we are declaring one variable int x, cout, type a number, cin x, that is nothing but we are reading the value of x from the keyboard, and then you are printing the value of x. Cout is pronounced as cout, cin is pronounced as cin. Cout is used for the output purpose and it uses the insertion operator. The same way, cin is used for input purpose for taking the data, and it uses the extraction operator. Now here we have some escape sequence, right? /n, that is, it moves the data to the cursor to the next line. So here you can see in C++ we have end L manipulator, that is, here you can see cout, hello world, end L means I am learning C++ will be printed on the next line. This end L manipulator is used instead of /n, that is new line, omitting namespace. So using namespace std is not written here. So when we are not declaring using namespace std, then here inside directly you have to use std object and then this scope resolution operator and then cout and then the insertion operator and the statement to be printed. This is called as the scope resolution operator. When we are writing using namespace std, directly we can write from cout. There is no need to write this std and again this scope resolution. Next comes the keywords. Keywords are nothing but some predefined, that is already reserved words in the compiler, and they are used for some special purpose. Some meaning is given to that keywords. So each and every keyword has their own meaning, own functionality. Here some of the keywords you can see: break, default, double, else, if, int, for, short, static, switch, right? All these are nothing but the some of the keyword in C++. Now here till now you have understood the concept of identifiers, how to declare or define a variable, what are the valid variable names, invalid variable names, the operators, the data types used in C++, how to give comments, what are the keywords, right? Now here we will be adding two numbers in C++ program with the help of arithmetic operator plus and assignment operator equals. So here you can see there is one chat, that is Peter is saying, hey Frank, I just learned how to add two numbers together. Frank is saying, cool. Peter, give me the first number. That is, with the help of cout we will be writing this thing, and then when Frank is entering 2 through keyboard, so here we need cin operator object. Now here again scene object is used for reading the data, that is value 5, and then we are adding, that is 2 plus 5 is nothing but 7. So here you can see the first variable, it is asking the value and we are entering through cin, that is 2, and then second number, that is 5, and here the sum is done, that is, so here we will see that corresponding program on this addition of two numbers in C++, right? So here you can see this hash include IOStream, right? And then using namespace std. So here what is happening? Suppose if you are not writing this line, right? Then here you can give std and scope resolution of, right? Now comes the main function and then three variables, first, second, and sum. Now see out, Peter is saying this to Frank, that is to give two numbers. I have learned to add two numbers, and here in the next line if you want to give the statement, then directly you can use this insertion operator and then you can write the statement as. Then here it is asking for the data to enter the first value, that is to be stored in this variable named as first. So here through keyboard the cin will read the value, that is 2. Then again this cin will read the value for second variable, that is second, value given as 5. Now sum variable, and here first plus second, that is the addition is done. Here plus is the arithmetic operator and then first plus second is added and it is stored in the left side variable sum because of this assignment operator equals to, and then here we are printing the value of sum, and this again comes the insertion operator and then end L, that is the cursor will move to the next line. Here it will print as Frank. Wow, you are amazing, right? Here we will see some of the programming style in C++, means some rules you can say, or some syntax which is done in C++, that is extra blanks or spaces or tabs before or after the identifiers or operators are ignored. So if you are giving any extra blanks, that will be ignored, so no error will be shown. Blank lines are ignored by the compiler just as comments it is. Code can be indented, that is nothing but here you can see I have written here main, int main. Now here after leaving some space we are writing the other code, that is this is called as indentation. This is just a writing style, right? So that your program is more neat and it is easy to see from where the body is starting, from where it is closing, right? What lines, what data is written inside the body. Next, there can be more than one statement on a single line. Here you can see cout hello world and then semicolon is there, and then again it is continuing with cout. I am learning C. So like this, more than one statement can be given on a single line by applying this semicolon. Means the first statement is terminated and then you can write the second. So hope you understood the concept of C++ programming language, that is the structure of a program, how to write the code, how to write the main function, and what is the use of cin, cout object. It is same as taking input and giving the output. In C language, there we were using printf and scanf functions. The same way here you are using cin for taking the input and cout for giving the output, right? So in the next video we will see about the control structures in C++, that is if else, nested if, switch case, while, do while, and for loop. So please share and subscribe to the channel so that you will be getting more videos, more lectures on C++. Thank you.